everyone. So today we are continuing with Act 1, Scene 2, Part 2. So earlier we have left where we have seen that Cassius is asking Brutus, he's manipulating him and he's asking him to see with their eyes, to see his own worth. And he's saying, can you see your eyes? So Brutus says, no, obviously I can't see myself with my own eyes until unless there is a reflection. So he's saying, okay, now I will show you. So let's start with Cassius's dialogue. Therefore, good Brutus, if you have not seen the previous videos, please go and watch them first. Okay, so he's saying here, therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear, and since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, eye or glass. मतलब अब मैं तुम्हारा आईना बनूंगा and I will show you what you can't see in yourself, and will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of. तुम्हें अपने बारे में ही जो अभी चीज़ें नहीं पता, that I am going to tell you. Those things I am going to tell you. And be not jealous on me. So here remember, beta, jealous does not mean envious. Jealous here means suspicious. शक करना, मुझ पे शक is, in this we will use jealous as a synonym for suspicious. Okay, so don't take it in that way as jealous. Okay, so here it means suspicious. So he is saying to Brutus, Cassius बोल रहा है कि don't be jealous on me, मुझ पे शक मत करना. क्यों शक मत करना? Please note down why. So he is saying, please don't be jealous on me, gentle Brutus. Were I a common laughter, अगर मैं if I were, अगर मैं ऐसा होता तो तुम मुझसे बच के रहते, लेकिन मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ. कैसा नहीं हूँ? Common laughter नहीं हूँ. I am not a common laughter means a frivolous fool. I am not someone who would just joke anywhere and would say anything to anyone. I am not like that. Then he is saying, or did used to stay with ordinary oaths of my love. That is, I do not make स्टेल, वही पुराने घिसे पिटे वादे दोस्ती के, स्टेल प्रोमिसेस टू एवरी न्यू प्रोटेस्टर. हर नए इंसान से जिससे मैं मिलता हूँ, मैं उससे आई डू नॉट मेक दो स्टेल प्रोमिसेस. थर्ड ही सेइंग, इफ यू नो दैट आई डू फॉन ऑन मैन, अगर तुम्हें पता लगे ऐसा कि आई फॉन ऑन मैन एंड हग देम हार्ड, मैं उनके फेसेस पे तो मैं उनको आई हग देम, एंड वेंस दे आर गॉन आई स्लैंडर देम. Scandal them or slander them means in front of you the person is saying, oh, you're such a nice person, so sweet, and once you're gone, as soon as you turn your back, he's like, oh god, such an irritating man, thank god he's gone. So मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ कि लोगों के faces पे I'm something else and once they're gone I slander them or I say bad things about them. Okay, so I am not like that. और या तो तुम्हें ये पता चले that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout. Banqueting means दावत, feast. तो जब feast हो रही हो, मैं all the rout means सारे लोग जो दावत में आए हैं, all the great mob of people, okay, mobs of people जो भीड़ आई है दावत में, to every person I am, what am I doing? I am banqueting to all the rout. I profess myself means मैं सबसे दोस्ती कर रहा हूँ, declare कर रहा हूँ, तुम भी मेरे दोस्त हो, you are my bestest friend, you are my, oh my god, super best friend. No, I don't do that. अगर तुम्हें ऐसा पता चले that I am like that, then hold me dangerous. तो तुम मुझ पे यकीन मत करना. Then don't believe me. Okay, so all the points I hope you have noted. To which अब suddenly क्या होता है? Now I told you Cassius and Brutus are alone and Cassius is manipulating Brutus. So I told you all the others have gone where? To the feast of Lupercal. एंड देयर, अब वहाँ से वो लोग ज़्यादा दूर नहीं हैं, तो उनको आवाज़ें आ रही हैं. ट्रम्पेट्स प्ले एंड देन अ शाउट साउंड्स मीन्स बहुत ज़्यादा ज़ोर से लोगों की आवाज़ें आने लगनी, जैसे कि हेल सीजर, लाइक दैट, सीजर के लिए. सो ब्रूटस, दिस इज डायलॉग. नाउ दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डायलॉग. ओके, सो व्हाट डज ही से? व्हाट मीन्स दिस शाउटिंग? आई डू फियर द पीपल चूज सीजर फॉर देयर किंग. अच्छा, आप ये कब कहते हैं, अच्छा मुझे डर है कि बारिश होने वाली है? डर कब होता है? जब आप नहीं चाहते हैं कि वो चीज़ हो, ऑब्वियसली. सो हेयर ब्रूटस के रियल इंटेंशंस फॉर द वेरी फर्स्ट टाइम वी आर गेटिंग टू नो इन दिस प्ले जूलियस सीजर. सो व्हाट आर हिज इंटेंशंस? ही सेज, ये शाउटिंग क्यों हो रही है? व्हाट इज दिस शाउटिंग ऑल फॉर? आई फियर द पीपल चूज सीजर फॉर देयर किंग. तो ही इज सेइंग, मुझे डर है कि लोगों ने जूलियस सीजर को अपना किंग चुन लिया है. नाउ as soon as Cassius hears this, he gets what he actually wanted. उसको पता चल गया कि Brutus also does not want Julius Caesar to be king. So instantly he catches this word fear. Okay, so he says, hey, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so. कि अगर आप उसको fear कर रहे, if you are really, you fear it, then I must guess that you do not want that to happen. तुम नहीं चाहते हो Julius Caesar king बने. So Brutus confesses that I would not. Cassius. Yet I love him well. So वो क्या कह रहे हैं कि हाँ मैं नहीं चाहता हूँ, but still I love Caesar dearly. So even though I love him very much, but I don't want him to be the king. So see what he's saying. Okay, he's my best friend, but I don't want him to become the head boy. So it's like that. Okay, so he's saying, yet I love him, but I do not want him to be the king. But wherefore do you hold me here for so long? Now he's saying कि तुमने मुझे यहाँ पे क्यों रोका हुआ है? Why are you holding me here for so long? What do you want to say? If it be ought towards the general good, अगर तुम मुझसे कोई ऐसी बात करना चाहते हो जो general good मतलब रोम के हित के लिए है, then tell me, set honor in one eye and death in the other. He's boasting about himself. He's saying that अगर एक तरफ I would see रोम की honor और दूसरी तरफ क्या बात हो, in the other eye death. I will see them indifferently. कि मैं दोनों में फर्क नहीं करूंगा. I will not be scared of death. If I have to give up my life even for the honor of the general good of Rome. So I will look on both indifferently, for let the God so speed me as love. So let the God, I hope the God will wish me, means do me good favor. Okay, will grant me good favor, speed me as in grant me good favor, so that मैं means in the name of me having honor, giving honor more priority than fearing death. Okay, so now to this Cassius says कि now he's catching everything and he is going on with that. So he's saying, I know that virtue to be in you. मैं जानता हूँ तुम्हारे अंदर की ये बात, ये तुम्हारी क्वालिटी से मैं बिल्कुल अच्छी तरीके से वाकिफ हूँ. जितना वाकिफ मैं तुम्हारे बाहरी आउटर अपीयरेंस से तुम्हें पहचानता हूँ, मैं उतना ही तुम्हारी इस वर्च्यू मतलब तुम्हारी इस क्वालिटी के बारे में भी जानता हूँ. So he's saying, I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. So he's saying, as much as you're familiar to me with your appearance, I know that this quality is also there inside you. Okay. So he says, I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single life, I had as life, Lief, okay, life not be as lived to be in awe of such as thing as myself. So he's saying, मुझे बाकियों का नहीं पता. I don't know about other men, about you and other men, but for me personally, I would rather die. I would rather die than to live and bow down and in awe of this person, that is Julius Caesar, who is not mightier than us, जो हमसे strong नहीं है, जो हमारे equal है, उसमें कोई खास बात नहीं है. So now he's starting showing his character. Okay, his jealous, his actual jealousy, his envious nature, okay, for Julius Caesar. So he thinks that he is just as good as them. He's nothing extraordinary that he should be the king and we should be standing bowing in front of him. Okay, bowing. Now, I was born free as Caesar. So he compares himself and Brutus to Caesar. So he says first thing that I was born free as Caesar. हम भी बिल्कुल free थे Caesar की तरह. We both have fed as well. तो हम लोगों ने खाना भी बिल्कुल एक ही तरीके का खाया. ऐसा नहीं कि he has eaten some very luxurious food and we haven't eaten. No, we have both fed as well. And we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. So हम दोनों भी उतनी ही winter cold को झेल सकते हैं, मतलब चीज़ों को tolerate कर सकते हैं जितनी अच्छी तरीके से वो कर सकता है. Okay, so endurance also is the same. Then he says, for once upon a now, very important part of this extract, that is, he says about two stories about Julius Caesar. Those stories, please remember these two stories. पहली कहानी क्या है? Let's see. Once upon a raw and gusty day. So raw and gusty day means means it was a stormy day. Okay, a very rough day, a very harsh day, a very windy day. Okay, एक समय की बात है, ऐसा दिन था, rough day. The troubled Tiber chafing with her shores. Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" So उस दिन क्या हुआ, उस ऐसे रस्टी और रॉ एंड गस्टी डे पे what happened? Troubled Tiber means the Tiber in which there were high tides, means it was swelling, its banks also overflowing. Caesar said to me, Caesar ने उस दिन मुझसे कहा, do you darest thou means do you dare, Cassius, to leap in with me into this angry flood, means into this Tiber river जो इतनी ज़्यादा, it is so rough right now, it is swelling. Okay, so he says, do you dare, and what is the dare? That you can swim with me to that yonder means far away, okay, that point. Will you swim with me in this angry river? Do you have that guts to do that? So Cassius said, one upon the word accounted as I was, plunged in and bade him follow. So जैसे ही उसने ये कहा, accounted means wearing my clothes, still in my clothes, मैं जो भी पहना हुआ था, I jumped. Plunged means jumped and dived into the Tiber river, angry flood, and bade him to follow and asked him to follow me, follow me. So वो उससे पहले ही कूद गया. Then indeed he did. तो और उसने मुझे मेरे पीछे पीछे आया. The torrent roared. Torrent means the water, current of the water. It was like, it was roaring, means it was quite what we can say, disastrous, dangerous, perilous, we can say. And we did buffet means हम उससे struggle कर रहे थे, उसके current के against we were swimming, and अपना जो competitive nature है उसको हम लोग बरकरार करते हुए, the lusty sinews means muscles, okay, because of the water they were shining, and stemming it with hearts of controversy. तो हमारा जो competitive nature है उससे हम बिल्कुल swim करते जा रहे हैं, and Caesar cried, जोर से चिल्लाया Caesar, help me, Cassius, or I sink. So he cried out loudly, and what did he say? Help me, Cassius, I'm sinking. Sinking means drowning in the water. I as Aeneas, or मैंने, बिल्कुल Aeneas की तरह. Now this is a biblical reference, or we can say allusion, okay, of Aeneas. That was a great ancestor, okay, of these people, Roman people. And what did Aeneas do? क्या कहानी है Aeneas की? Very important. Remember what he did. Aeneas carried his father on his shoulders, and Troy एक जगह है वहाँ पे, it was like people had put fire all over it, all over the place, so they had to just flee from there. वहाँ से निकल के भागना था सब कुछ छोड़ के, because हर जगह आग लगी हुई थी. So अटैक उन पे जब हुआ था एक बार, तो एनियस ने क्या किया था? He did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I tired Caesar. So मैंने जैसे एनियस ने अपने फादर एंचिसेस को अपने कंधों पे बेयर करके लाद के वो लेके गया था, उस आग से ट्रॉय में जो लगी हुई थी उससे बचाया था. Similarly, I also carried Julius Caesar on my shoulders and saved him from the waves of Tiber. And this man is now become, so this was the first story. Okay, so he's saying, and this man is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature. कि मैं बेचारा wretched creature बन गया हूँ, and he is the god. वो god बन गया. In fact, I was the one who saved him. Then he says, and must bend his body if Caesar carelessly, but not on him. और मुझे क्या करना पड़ेगा? I have to bend my body, झुक के उसके सामने रहना पड़ेगा. Even if Julius Caesar nods his head, देख भी लिया अगर उसने मेरी तरफ, तो मुझे उसके सामने झुकना पड़ेगा. I'll have to bend my body. झुक के उसको, I'll have to salute him, okay, like that. Show him respect, in respect. So he had, अब दूसरी कहानी. Now the next story. So once they were in Spain, he had a fever. there. And when the fit was on him, fit, अब यहाँ पे remember Julius Caesar has epilepsy, in which this disease epilepsy, what happens, the person encounters fits anytime, it can happen. Okay, so when he was in fever in Spain, he was encountering these fits. What had happened? Fits means दौरे. Okay, so जब this had happened, I did mark how he did shake. तो fits में क्या होता है, body shake करती है, अकड़ जाती है. Okay, weirdly, strangely. So he was shaking, and it is true, this god did shake. So कह रहे हैं कि यही जो immortal Caesar है, that is a god जैसा, जो अभी जिसको god का दर्जा दिया, he is on that pedestal just like God. He was shaking. This god was shaking. His coward lips did from their color fly. So his lips had become pale, colorless. And that same eye, when you are, very cold, your face and everything becomes colorless, pale blue. Then at that same eye, whose bent doth awe, the world did lose his luster, I did hear him groan. और वही आंखें जिनकी चमक जा चुकी थी. Luster means चमक, that shine, it has lost its gleam. Okay, shine. And जिसकी gaze से, वही नजर जिसकी gaze से सब डरते थे, they were terrified of his gaze. और उसकी चमक जा चुकी थी. Then he says, I did hear him groan. मैंने सुना था उसको रोते हुए, दर्द में करहाते हुए. Groaning means दर्द में करहाना. That I did hear him groan, and I, that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books, alas, it cried, give me some drink, Titanus, as a sick girl. So he's saying that उसी जुबान ने, जिसकी जुबान से जो कुछ निकलता है, वो चाहता है लोग उसको, उसकी स्पीच को एक स्क्रिप्चर्स, होली स्क्रिप्चर्स की तरह लिख लें, उसके मुंह से निकली हुई हर बात को. वही जुबान, जैसे पहले क्या कहा, फर्स्ट ही कंपेयर्ड हिज आईज टू दोज आईज जिससे सब डरते हैं और आज उनकी चमक जा चुकी है. और उसकी वो जुबान जिससे जो कुछ भी निकलता था मुंह से, वो बुक्स में लिख लिया जाता था, लाइक होली स्क्रिप्चर्स. आज वो जुबान से उसने कहा रोते हुए, प्लीज गिव मी सम ड्रिंक, टिटनस. नाउ हूज टिटनस? प्लीज रिमेंबर, ही विल कम फर्दर इन द प्ले. एंड टिटनस वाज someone who maybe enacted only to be a friend of Julius Caesar at this point of time, and later on we will see that he is one of the members of the conspiracy who helped Cassius and Brutus to kill Julius Caesar and stabbed him. So yeah, Titanus, remember this character also, we'll be seeing him later. So he said to Titinius, like a sick girl, एक बीमार लड़की की तरह, बच्ची की तरह, he said, give me some drink. He, gods, it doth amaze me, a man of such feeble temper, ऐसा आदमी with such a weak constitution, feeble temper as in weak constitution, so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone. Bear the palm alone is a phrase to which means to have the victory, to have the prize. The victory अकेले उसको मिल जाएगी. So he's saying that इतना weak constitution का आदमी is going to get the entire world, and he is going to be the one who's going to get the prize. So now suddenly what happens? A shout of stage trumpets play. तो फिर से trumpets की आवाज, and everyone is shouting and hailing Caesar. So now Brutus again says, another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar. So he says, now I believe means now I think that ये जो applauses हैं, definitely some new honor is given to Julius Caesar. So now he's so anxious about what is happening over there. He would have rather gone there and seen for himself, but standing here he's just assuming कि अच्छा वहाँ पे ये हो रहा होगा. Now there he would be given the crown, he would have been means getting this or that. So he's just assuming, interpreting. Now Cassius says, very important extract, okay, very important, the reference of Colossus, okay. Now Cassius says, why man he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Now Colossus's reference is that there was a river that is Rhodes, Rhodes, and Colossus meaning, literal meaning is very big, huge, gigantic. And actually the name of this gigantic statue of sun god, that is Apollo, or one more, Helios, I think. So sun god का एक statue था. There was a statue, very big, huge statue. Its name was Colossus. It was on the river of Rhodes, and it was like the entrance of that valley. Okay, so imagine there is a bridge under which river is flowing, but that bridge has a gap, okay, on which there are like this legs of that huge statue. तो जो भी boats उसके नीचे से निकलती थी, तो means they were going under the legs of that huge Colossus statue. You get it? So bridge, imagine this part is broken, and on this there are legs. Instead of the flat, there are legs and the whole statue. In pictures you can see. So that is what is the references of going between the legs. Okay. So he says that why man he doth bestride the narrow world. So he sings it, he straddles the narrow world like a giant. उसके सामने हम लोग क्या है? Petty men, छोटे छोटे, very small men, and he is so huge. He has become so huge, like Colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. और हमें तो जरा सी means like peek out just to find our graves. हमें we have to find place, small places for our graves, as if we were slaves. जैसे कि हम क्या हो? Slaves हो. Men at some time are masters of their fate. So he says men can be masters of their fate, Brutus. हम लोग अपनी किस्मत के हम masters हो सकते हैं. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves. So he's saying the fault is not of our fortune, our destiny. No, it is the fault lies within ourselves. It is because of us that we are not able to do anything. And we are underlings, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Underlings means what we can say, we are undervaluing ourselves. हम ही कमजोर हैं, हम कमजोर हैं, वो strong नहीं है, we are weak. So this thing we will see in the upcoming scenes also, where he will say he is not a lion, we are the deer, the sheep. Okay, so let's see here. Brutus and Caesar, why should be in that Caesar? Why should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. So now please note down the comparison of the two names, that is Brutus's name and Caesar's name. Okay, so Brutus ko he's saying कि अगर दीवार पे, he writes with a knife, you know, they all carry a small knife with them, और वो दीवार पे लिखता है. You will see the play, if you will see the movie. So he writes with that knife on the wall. Once he writes Brutus and then he writes Caesar. So he is comparing now. So first comparison, please note down. He says, if your name means your name, that is Brutus's name, also sounds as heavy as Caesar. तो कह रहे दोनों के नाम में उतना ही वजन है जितना सीजर में, उतना ही उसमें भी है. And he's saying, write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Okay, so first he's saying कि तुम्हारा भी नाम उतना ही attractive है जितना सीजर का नाम है. Then उतना ही फेयर लग रहा है, उतना ही अच्छा लग रहा है जितना सीजर का नाम. सेकेंड ही एंड उतना ही बोलने में अच्छा लग रहा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन यू से ब्रूटस, इट इज एज नाइस एज सेइंग सीजर. ओके, सो सेकेंड कंपैरिजन, वे देम, इट इज एज हैवी. वजन करो, दोनों इक्वल है. थर्ड, conjure with them, Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. So he's saying अगर उससे आप कोई मैजिक भी करना चाहोगे, conjure means कोई मैजिक करना चाहोगे, तो ब्रूटस का नाम भी स्पिरिट बुला लेगा जितना इजीली सीजर का नाम बुला सकता है. So like all those Metaphorical comparisons are there. Okay, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great? उसने ऐसा क्या मीट खाया है? What has he eaten to become so great and we are not so great? Why? What has he eaten to be so great? Age thou art shamed Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble blood. So शर्म की बात है, we should be ashamed, the people of our time should be ashamed of ourselves that Rome has lost the ability to raise noble men. Okay, अब क्या है कि पहले जैसे strong mighty men हुआ करते थे, वैसे अब रोम में नहीं है. Let's continue. Long dialogues are there. Every dialogue of Cassius especially is very, very long in this act especially. And later on also we'll see. Okay, so 160, line 160. Okay. Then he says, when went there by an age since the great flood. Now please remember this great flood. This is a mythological flood. Okay, it is said that this flood which Cassius is referring to was a mythological flood in which all the humanity was swept away. सब खत्म हो गए थे, except one married couple. Except one married couple, all the humanity was swept away. Okay, so he says that when there by an age since the great flood, but it was famed more than with one man. So here the only problem that Cassius could have was that always Rome was, never ever was the age when only one man ruled the whole of Rome. That is monarchy. Okay, there was never monarchy. It was always a republic. So क्या होता? If one man would be the king, they would lose their powers as ministers or as statesmen, board members, okay, of the Senate, as senators. Their powers would be very, very less, or we can say like nothing if there is a king, one king. So that's why he's saying कि ऐसा कभी भी नहीं हुआ है that there is a monarch, as in one person is ruling the whole of Rome. You remember, it was always a triumvirate. Crassus, Pompey and Julius Caesar. Now only Julius Caesar is there. So they do not want that. So he's saying, when could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walks encompassed by but one man? कि एक इंसान ने कब ऐसा हुआ है कि पूरे रोम को आज से पहले रूल किया है? But अब ऐसा हो रहा है. Indeed, now it is happening. Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say, हमने सुना है अपने fathers को कहते हुए, there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king. So he's saying कि हमने सुना है अपने forefathers को कहते हुए, अपने fathers को कहते हुए, that once there was a Brutus जो क्या करता, your ancestor, Brutus को कह रहा है your ancestor. I told you there was a Brutus who was ancestors to this Brutus, present Brutus. So who would have the devil rule, devil राज कर लेगा, लेकिन एक king नहीं बनेगा. One king will not be there. Means it would rather they would rather have a devil rule the whole of Rome, but not a single king. So what a foolish reason. So Brutus says that you do love me, I'm nothing jealous, I'm not suspicious, I know you love me, I do not doubt that. And now Brutus is understood कि वो क्या कहना चाह रहा है, वो अच्छी तरीके से समझ गया है. He has, his bulb has light now. So he's saying, I understand what you are trying to say. उसकी पूरी conspiracy, उसकी पूरी कहने का मतलब वो समझ गया है कि he does not want Julius Caesar to be the king. उसके खिलाफ है. तो he's saying Brutus is very smart. So he says, I'm not jealous as in suspicious. Okay. What would you work me to? I have some aim. मैं समझ गया हूँ तुम क्या कहना चाहते हो. How I have thought of this and of these times I shall recount hereafter. और मैं इस पे क्या सोचता हूँ मैं तुम्हें बाद में आई विल टेल यू लेटर ऑन व्हाट आई थिंक अबाउट दिस एंड व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन रोम. आई विल टेल यू लेटर, बट फॉर दिस मोमेंट, फॉर दिस प्रेजेंट, आई वुड नॉट सो विद लव. आई माइट एंट्रीट यू बी एनी फर्दर मूव्ड. अब इससे आगे तुम डोंट से एनीथिंग राइट नाउ फॉर आवर फ्रेंडशिप. अभी यहीं रुक जाओ. डोंट से एनीथिंग एल्स. व्हाट यू हैव सेड आई विल कंसिडर. जो भी तुमने कहा है आई विल थिंक अपॉन इट. I will ponder over it. I will sleep over it. Sleep over means I will think about it. Okay, so phrase you should know, idiom. What you have said I will consider, and what you have to say I will with patience hear and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. So he's saying कि हम दोबारा we will find an appropriate time for us to consider and talk about all of this later on, because these matters are very heavy. This weighty matters, heavy matters. High things means important things. Okay. Till then, अब ये तो चाहता ही था Cassius that he would meet him again and talk about it. So वही हुआ. Brutus says I will meet you again and we will talk about it. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Chew upon these means think about this. And Brutus had rather, और कहते कहते जाता है लास्ट में he says Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself as a son of Rome under these hard conditions that this time is like to lay upon us. So he's saying I would rather be a mere villager, मैं एक मामूली गांव का आदमी बन के रहना पसंद करूंगा than the son of Rome, that is the citizen of Rome. मैं नहीं बनूंगा. I would rather prefer to be a villager under such circumstances of the government. Okay. And ऐसी जो सिचुएशन हम पे आई है, डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन, उसमें मैं आई वुड रादर बी अ विलेजर देन टू बी अ सिटीजन ऑफ Rome. So Cassius is very happy. He says I'm glad that my weak words, so he's being modest कि मेरे जो weak words हैं, actually उसके weak words नहीं थे. He had said whatever he had to say with very strong arguments and counter arguments. Okay, so he has said what he had to say, have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus. तो कह रहा है मेरे weak words ने तुम्हारे अंदर की जो fire है उसको वो देख पाया. I'm so glad. So he's saying I'm glad that my weak words were able to start this small show of passion from you. Fire मतलब passion तुम्हारे अंदर का जो मुझे दिखा है देश के प्रति, as in Rome के प्रति, that I'm very happy to see. So now Caesar enters with his followers including Casca. So अब क्या होता है, वो सारा सब everything is over at the feast of Lupercal and they are returning, और वहाँ से Casca भी आ रहा है. And Brutus says that these games are done and Casca is returning. तो Brutus कहता है ये सब सारे games, race and all, everything is done and Casca is returning. So Cassius says as they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve and he will after his sour fashion tell you what hath proceeded worthy note today. So they are going to ask Casca that. Now we will continue this in the next scene from this Cassius's dialogue 185. Okay, so I hope you are able to understand and comprehend whatever I'm trying to explain. For any other request, please comment down and don't forget to like and share with your other fellow students and subscribe to my channel if you still haven't. Till then, see you later. All the best.